Hi, I'm Tisha.
I'm Loren.
And this is the Open Booked podcast. Today we are talking about Queen of Shadows, the fifth or fourth book, however you read it, in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. But first, what are you reading right now?
I just finished this book 15 minutes ago. So, nothing. I'll be starting Empire of Storms later on. So, yeah, nothing crazy. What about you?
Still very slowly inching my way through IYKYK. And I am going to start today, because it's about to expire on Libby, the fourth and final You book in the series. It's like You and Only You or something like that. Before I start watching the final season of You on Netflix.
When does it come out? Soon.
I think this Friday, or maybe this past Friday. I don't know. It's April at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been rewatching the show.
Yeah, you should. My April's been wild. And it's only the 13th, and I still got lots of plans. But then my schedule clears up in May, so I probably won't get to it till May. But we'll get there.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's fun. I love that show. Now, and I didn't realize it was a book, and then now that watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is totally gives the kind of books we read.
Yeah.
So, not shocked.
Yeah,
no. It's actually kind of I know it's wild, but for some of them, it's kind of milder.
Yeah.
I just bumped my desk, and it looked like there was an earthquake. Anyone watching video, so sorry. That was terrible.
Not this week, at least, in Northwest Arkansas.
No, not on our bingo card this week, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, not at all.
I don't think I've ever felt one. I know that there's been a couple, shocks that supposedly were felt, and I didn't notice.
Yeah, I never felt them.
But people were posting all over Facebook. You know how it is. The Karens get on Facebook. Everyone feel that? What's going on?
Remember a few years ago, it's probably been 10, 11 years ago now, and I didn't realize it was one of our friends until a couple weeks later when it was on the news. But somebody put a bunch of tannerite in a refrigerator, shot it, and it made a huge boom, and everybody said they felt shaking.
Who was it? Do we know them?
It was Nathan Hughes.
Okay, I don't know him.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you, a lot of Northwest Arkansas people probably know him from J6.
Okay.
He was facing charges, and he's one of the few that got pardoned.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the buffalo head guy. I've seen pictures, right? He wore the buffalo headdress?
No.
Or the Indian headdress? It looked like a buffalo. Okay.
No, he was wearing a bandana and was supposedly identified by his ear.
Okay, so there was a guy that was from Arkansas that had the whole Indian headdress with the buffalo head up top.
That's the Grab It guy that took a piece of mail from Nancy's desk.
Yes.
Yeah. This one is the one that had his house raided and Liberty safe.
Okay.
Yeah, they unlocked the safe because they called Liberty, and Liberty gave up his code to get into the safe. So and
he just had a bunch of guns and ammo in there.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. For us, that's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's normal around here. Any listeners who aren't from areas like that, it's not weird to go to someone's house and see a safe full of guns. It's probably weirder to go to a house without guns.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just, I say it's part of our culture, and people think that's weird to say, but I really think that it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, in the South and Midwest, it's not uncommon at all. So,
yeah.
Moving on.
So, there's a lot of stuff in the news this week. So let's just dive right in. And the first and foremost thing I'm going to talk about here is I'm going to 100% own that I did not think dire wolves were ever real. I knew them as the pets that the Stark children had in Game of Thrones. I thought they were giant wolves or just wolves that they called dire wolves, but they weren't anything different. It was just a fantasy term, okay? Everyone listening will, yeah, they call stuff stupid or weird, weird names. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so when they announced this week that after thousands and thousands of years, I don't know the number. I'm a Christian, so when I hear them say like these crazy numbers, my beliefs don't necessarily jive with scientific beliefs. So a timeline a long ass time ago, these dire wolves were extinct. Okay, so they're back. They're cute as fuck.
Yeah.
They are little white fuzz balls that look like husky they look like my white husky puppies right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they named the two males Romulus and Remus, like after founders of Rome or whatever. And then the girl, and these Game of Thrones fans that are listening, which I know most people who like our genre of books and such have watched Game of Thrones, are saying, why the fuck did they name the girl Khaleesi? Okay, you picked the opposing house to name. I appreciate the reference, I really do. I literally have a shirt that says Mother of Dragons. I won't wear it now because of what Blake Lively said, but one, I'm a Khaleesi stan. That being said, that dog should have been named Nymeria, Lady, Arya, Sansa, fuck any of the Stark names or their direwolves names. Anything else besides the Mother of Dragons, not direwolves. Anyways, that's beside the whole point. The point is, did we learn nothing from Jurassic Park?
Clearly not, because now they're talking about doing woolly mammoths. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, they are in like deep doing woolly mammoths and the dodo bird. I'm all about the dodo bird. I think that's kind of cool. But woolly mammoths, and then I listened to this guy, this science nerd. No offense, science nerds. I'm a book nerd. It's just different, okay? Listen to them talk, I'm like, I feel like I'm reading an audiobook in a different language on 3 speed. So, anyways, this guy's going off about why we need woolly mammoths. And in my head, I think everything's happening the way that it should. I'm not going to use the word evolution because I just said I'm a Christian, so I don't believe in evolution, but I'll listen to anyone's theories, right? That we shouldn't fuck with shit. That's my theory. Yeah. If it's dead, it's meant to be dead.
There's a reason.
Does that mean there's a reason? Does that mean I think we shouldn't study? Absolutely not. Look into it. Learn everything that you can. It's cool. I nerd out over the ancient Egyptian stuff. So, like, I 100% am all support of scientists, like, researching. Yeah. Bringing shit back, just like ChatGPT and AI taking over the world. Do we all need to collectively watch Terminator and Jurassic Park and iRobot just to like recalibrate? Because
clearly, because
these movies taught us a lesson and we forgot it.
Yeah. Apparently, some people didn't learn it in the first place, and they're like, "Yeah, this is a great idea. Let's give computers the ability to learn and robots the ability to learn." Human behaviors and interactions and how to do things, and let's bring back extinct species that how the fuck are they going to survive now? Like, are they then going to turn around and kill out a bunch of other species? Like, how's this going to work? Who thought about that plan afterward?
Right, like the food chain, right? Are you going to throw them into Yellowstone National Park? And so then, okay, now they're in Yellowstone. What about the endangered species of wolves? They're going to alpha this shit out of them. I don't know. I'm assuming the direwolf is going to be the most alpha. Yeah. Or are they going to doodle them? Jesse made a joke and said, I give it 6 months before we see a dire doodle at the fucking dog park. Some suburban Lululemon mom's going to have a fucking dire doodle. I was crying. I was laughing so hard the first time.
But literally.
Literally. I did see another meme that was like me showing up to the dog park with my dire wolf, and it was like someone dressed in like a fur coat like they're in Game of Thrones. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, y'all. We can always count on our generation to make everything a joke.
100. Easily.
I love us for that. I really do.
We gotta cope somehow.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of Mother of Dragons, let's talk about our most hated Mother of Dragons. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. We had a slight update this week. Backstory. In Blake's lawsuit, she said that the scene where she's giving birth to the baby, that she was naked and exposed and felt taken advantage of, or just whatever dramatic nonsense that she wrote in there. Um, the doctor, the actor. Oh, she also said that it was just some guy off the street that was friends with Justin Baldoni. And so it was like his buddy in there put her in this vulnerable situation or whatever. This guy who played the doctor stepped out and was like, I'm an accredited actor, and like list all of his accolades, which are a ton. And was like, I was hired for this role, and I can personally attest to she was fully clothed. She had, like, under that gown, she had shorts on. That was not the case at all, and I will testify against her. Like, he was willing to. I was like,
good.
More people need to speak out for the right thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if Justin would have been the bad guy in that situation. I would have hoped that that guy would speak out against him, too. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like as a society, we've gotten to the point of, like, I don't know, I want to stay out of it, which in some cases, absolutely stay out of shit if you're not involved in it. But in this case, you witnessed it. These are people's reputations, livelihoods on the line. If you have the ability to speak the truth, do it. That's my opinion.
100% every time. And it might not be convenient. It might not benefit your career in any way. It might even hinder your career. But in the end, you're going to come out on top because your conscience is clear. Like, just fucking put it out there. If they want to hear it, good. If not, you did your part. You did what you could.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But I thought it was big of him to step out speaking his truth. So
yeah,
hopefully the attorney will hit him up.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we have a lot of like attorney, legal, celebrity case drama updates this week. Number one, I forgot to put this on the notes. The Iowa murders from that sorority house from a few years ago. That trial's about to start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when, but it's very soon because you're starting to see stuff in the news about it. So we'll be sure to mention that, like any crazy updates weekly. I wish we were doing the pod during the Johnny Depp trial because, man, we could have done daily episodes. I literally lived for that during that time.
Yeah. I saw where they were doing the evidentiary hearing this past week, and they were trying to get the fact that the girl identified the guy in the house as someone wearing a ski mask with bushy eyebrows thrown out.
Can't see eyebrows through ski mask.
Yeah. Then they were trying to get it. She was also
high as fuck, right?
Yeah. They were trying to get it thrown out that which I don't know how they would even go about this, but they're trying to make it some way that the jury can't see him because I think he's on the spectrum and he doesn't have a lot of like emotion on his face. Like you can't read what he's thinking. So the lawyer is saying that the jury might think he's guilty because he doesn't have a reaction to any of the graphic pictures or descriptions, because he may not have a reaction, or he might smile out of context. So,
but is he on the spectrum? I think I've seen a lot about that particular thing, that up until like this happened, there's no record of him like getting help, no records of him in school getting. Now I could be wrong, this is just what I've seen. He would never had, like, you know, when you have special needs in school, you have a teacher that follows you, or you go to certain classes, or, you know, just depending on your level. And he never had any of that. And this is like, which, no, I'm not saying he's not, because some people are and don't know it.
Yeah.
Until they're adults. But it very much is giving this as a tactic to get him off easier. I think he is a psychopath. Whether he's on the spectrum or not, I think that's probably pretty clear. And I don't know. I'm interested to follow the trial. I genuinely I'm not convinced he did or didn't do it. if we're being honest. I think he's got problems. I don't know if he did or didn't do it.
I was looking back at like the timeline because, of course, there's always the timeline in cases like this. His phone had pinged near the house multiple times going months back. Like this happened in November, and as far back as August, they had seen that his phone was pinging in the area. He turned his phone off at a tower not too far away, but far enough for like a 2-hour span. When the murders happened, he shortly after, he didn't flee, but he conveniently took a cross-country road trip with his father. And I think it's so weird that he got pulled over twice within just a few minute time in 2 different states, one like Indiana and Pennsylvania, because he was near the line, obviously. But one was for like speeding and the next one was for following too closely. And it's like, did he want to be seen and caught there doing something? For just police record.
That he wasn't there. Yeah. A traceable thing. Yeah.
It's real weird.
And I think there's a lot of evidence that we don't know about that's going to come out in trial. I mean, they knew it was him like the next day, and we were just had an APB out on the car or whatever. So like they knew who he was, I think, way before the public knew. They've been pretty secretive, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. But I felt they've been secretive. So if the trial's televised, I don't know if it is or isn't. If you guys know, comment and let us know. But I will be interested to see what else comes out with it. I mean, they do have a pretty solid case, it sounds like. I'm interested to see it all come together.
Yeah.
Love me a good live trial. Speaking of trials, we have 3 other topics in this same department to discuss. The first one, the Menendez brothers had a hearing, I think Thursday or Friday, where they got a big win, pretty much saying they are going to move forward with the resentencing. That's been the question. Like, people think they are, people think they aren't. So they're officially getting resentenced. That means they could get resentenced and be free the next day or immediately, because their sentence could have already been
like lapsed. Yeah,
exactly. Like, let's say they sentenced them to 30 years. Okay, they've been in for 30 years. Bye, they're free.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We've talked about this one a lot. I go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe with resentencing, they'll represent the case and say more. I feel like the TV show just dramatized it. And half the time you're rooting for them, half the time you think they're bad. And I think that was by design. Ryan Murphy is great at shows, and it was for entertainment purposes. It wasn't a documentary meant to do what it did. But the actor who plays the younger brother was at this sentencing, or at this hearing, supporting the real life. I'm not even kidding. Coach, the one that plays Eric, was there. Yeah. I saw like a picture of him going into the courthouse. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. So we'll keep you all posted on that. I don't know when the resentencing is, but that's like literally just happened.
Yeah.
And then Diddy hired another powerhouse lawyer, the same one who is supposedly representing, or the team that's representing Luigi Mangione. I just saw TikTok. If that's not true, don't come at me. But I do know he has like a whole team already of powerhouse attorneys, and they hired another one. Like you have to, like, once you're in this part, I think the judge has to approve or something, or they have to present it formally, like we hired another counsel. And so, yeah, that happened this past week as well. And I'm like, you about to not have any money, my guy. I'm surprised they haven't already frozen his assets. Yeah. Because we don't just have, like, I think we've said this before, but we'll say it again. He has like federal charges, and the kind of charges that he got are the kind that the government doesn't lose. Like 99% conviction rate. Yeah. They don't convict or do these charges without doing their due diligence and being like, this is a done deal. I guarantee you they don't take cases they can't win.
Not like this, for sure.
Not a big high profile. We're gonna have multiple celebrities. Like, no, they have shit
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is just last ditch effort. Those attorneys are probably like, this just may be a claim to fame for me. They're already famous attorneys, supposedly. Like, they've represented a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
One of them actually was like a Menendez person as well. So I'm like, all these high profiles.
Yeah.
Anyways, it could just be a him grasping straws and being like, okay, let's just hire as many freaking attorneys as we can. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, last piece. Apparently, this happened Friday. Taylor Swift served Kanye with a cease and desist. Did you hear about that? So, I don't follow anyone. I don't really use X, not because I boycott it. I'm just too old. I feel like that's like the younger generation's thing. And I'm not trying to be chuggy up in there or whatever they call us. I'm more of like a Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. So, apparently, Kanye's a big Twitterer, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know, he's deleted his profile, started it back. He just is drama. I think we all can agree Kanye is just drama.
Yeah.
And he apparently is like been trashing Taylor Swift on there. I don't know if he like, I don't know the whole, I think he screenshotted pictures or took and just said like some off the wall shit. Attacking her character. So I don't blame her. Serve him as like he's been causing problems for her since that one freaking award show. Yeah. But then there's the conspiracy theory that he did it to save her because she wasn't gonna thank Beyonce. You remember? You remember a few months ago, and it's like, better thank Beyonce or you're gonna end up clapped or canceled. Anyways, that's just a little joke. But yeah, no, that apparently happened. So it's very new. So I'm sure more will come out. Kanye being Kanye.
Mm-hmm. He's just mentally unstable, and anyone who ends up in his sphere of friends or business associates never really comes out on top.
No, they just come up in conversation relating to drama. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. Next piece of business. Did you watch the documentary, I can't talk today, about Firefest #1 on Netflix?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how long ago was that? When did it come out? Do you remember? Because, like, I specifically remember watching it and being like, what the fuck is this dude? This dude, like, ended up being, I think he was kind of friends with Anna Delvey, too.
Yeah,
right?
It says it's 2015.
Okay, fuck, I feel old. I remember it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So this 2017 is when the festival happened. Or was supposed to happen and didn't. And then the show came out in 2019 on Hulu and Netflix.
Okay. That's when I found out. I watched that.
Yeah. So in 2018, the guy that put it on, he pled guilty to 1 count of wire fraud to defraud investors and ticket holders, and a 2nd count to defraud a ticket vendor while out on bail. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, ordered to forfeit $26 million. At least 8 lawsuits were initiated against the organizers, and a class action sought $100 million in damages and a judgment for $2 million. So yeah, he's right back at it.
Yeah, okay, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, this guy's name's what? Brian McFarland?
Yeah.
His name? Yeah. He is just...
Billy.
Okay, I don't know where this guy came from. All I know is from the documentary, he had like this exclusive credit card company, right? Like that he had started as like this thick black heavy, and it kind of was like a take on the black Amex or whatever to like a status symbol. I don't know if he got money in stocks. He just popped up out of nowhere, in my opinion. Maybe people in other circles had heard of him. I had not until all this went down. Long story short, he decided to create an app called Fire App where wealthy people could just book famous people for their events. Honestly, that's kind of a great idea for like companies, for team building or work, like you're planning events or a wedding even. I mean, and you want like even local artists could get on. It was just a way for people to be able to access to book like exclusive concerts and events and whatnot. Okay, so that's how it started. Then he decided, I'm going to do a fire festival in the Bahamas on a private island, make it luxury, blah, 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 charge people tons of fucking money. They show up and they get like MRE military food. They get hurricane tents as their luxury experience. I'm pretty sure people were sick, people were hospitalized. The transportation was a joke. Like, every single thing that could have gone wrong went wrong. And then I'm pretty sure there was no artist, right? Like, it was gonna be Ja Rule. Ja Rule was all up in that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was an investor, if he was gonna perform, or what. Okay, let's be real. Ja Rule, you old. Like, love it, but this is like a festival targeted at the younger 20s, 30s, wealthy crowd, luxury experience. They're not paying for Ja Rule. They're paying for Taylor Swift. They're paying for like top tier entertainers, like whoever's headlining Coachella. Mm-hmm. That's who they want to see. They don't want to see Ja Rule. Anyways, that's my opinion. So, anyways, he obviously frauded these people. Festival ended up, like, not happening at all. And so now he's out of jail. I don't know if he's paid off all of his debts. He has a payment plan, what he's doing. Yeah. But he is doing a fire festival, too. He says it's legit. He's getting on talk shows. He's getting on podcasts. I've seen his name pop up a ton about Fire Festival too. And even news stations are like, we're buying the cheapest tickets. I'm saying there's hundreds of $1,000 packages on here for these luxury experiences. And I ain't gonna trust that because, number one, the location he says it's at was the first location was Isla Mujeres in Mexico, which is just off the coast of Cancun. I've actually been there. It is beautiful. So, great location. Told them no. Second location, I think they're going to do like Playa del Carmen. And the government came out and said, like, there's no registration for that event here. Like, that happened this past week.
Because he started selling tickets in February. So.
Did you look up the prices of tickets?
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Fire.mx.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it has like a fancy countdown when you click on the website.
Prometheus, Phoenix, Fuego, Ignite, accommodations. Tell me the things.
They spent a lot of money on this website.
It's garbage.
Okay, but here's the deal. Look at all the cheapest is $1,400. The cheapest ticket. Okay, the most expensive is $25,000. Here's my favorite part. Here's the icing on the cake. There's not a fucking list of artists that are going to be here. Who buys tickets to a festival not knowing who the artists are? I would never.
No. It's still showing Playa del Carmen, onstage access to the water stage, fight team access at the fight pit, a curated itinerary of fire experiences, 24/7 private chauffeur service, dedicated on-site concierge, and access to the Prometheus Marina. So you can drive your own boat up. It says the experiences will be released in a number of experiential drops leading up to the festival. All offered fire experiences are included for Prometheus pass holders. Additional experiences will be provided to Prometheus attendees only, such as unique adventures, intimate dinners, and other exclusive excursions.
That is the Vegas shit. They are saying fancy words, but not giving you any substance to make you feel like it's this luxury exclusive experience. I'm going to say, I think this is a Fire 2.0 fire.
100%.
This is ridiculous.
And it's from Friday, May 30th to Monday, June 2nd. So it's
of this year?
Yeah.
And there's no artist announced.
No.
It is 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
And there is no artist announced.
Oh shit, that Prometheus is a $1.1 million.
Wait, what?
It's for 8 people to have tickets, and that includes their accommodations. Who the fuck is paying this?
Okay, I'm gonna do a message to all citizens of Earth. If you have the kind of money to do that, give it to me. I can make much better decisions, okay? I can definitely do a lot better than that weekend experience that you're going to end up suing him over. I'm just saying. Give me that much money and I'll give you the weekend of your life in Northwest Arkansas, okay?
Yeah. And then still do something good with it. Like donate it to a really good cause.
$900,000 back.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I promise I can do a whole lot more with $1.1 million than give you tetanus and what was it, Hep B people were getting because they had porta potties that flooded and they were walking through it in the streets, like, and what was it, a tuna sandwich and a turkey sandwich on like Wonder Bread, not even like a sub sandwich.
No, I'm pretty sure they got MREs too.
Yeah.
I remember,
and they were trapped there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, because the transportation was such a fucking joke. I'm telling you, this is happening again. The Mexican government doesn't even have this event listed. Let's just start with that.
Like, first thing you do if you're hosting an event, you get permits, because you have to have permits to serve alcohol, to have that many people in one location, to host a music event of any kind because of sound ordinances and blah, blah, blah. Like, there is so much shit to
safety.
do.
There's going to be like a fire marshal involved. There's going to be
police. You got to have security.
EMS. I mean, come on. That's bait. I'm telling you. This shit ain't happening in a month. It's not happening. Oh, man. My favorite part is people are paying $1 million and there's no fucking artist listed.
No. And it doesn't actually show you like what the accommodations are. It says, oh, you can get a yacht with blah, 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 all of this space for these 8 people. You can get resort accommodations with, service and drinks and food and all of this stuff. But it doesn't say, hey, you pick from this hotel in this resort. You pick from this marina or yacht service or whatever. Like, no. I want to buy merch just to be like, I didn't attend, but look what I got out of it.
Yeah. I'm laughing at y'all motherfuckers.
You are, with my $50 sweater.
Yeah. My favorite part is I clicked on like one of them and it was talking about hotel recommendations and it was like, coming soon. Okay, the Sand in My Boots Festival, first time festival, they announced it, immediately went to the website, had a list of hotels. Before the tickets even went on sale, they had a list of full ass everyone that was going to be there. Every festival ever is like that. I get it, they're wanting to be different. Festivals are successful for a reason. I don't get like, what's not broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Like, festivals are a fucking money grab. Everyone goes to festivals.
I'm looking at the merch.
What does it say?
One is a $70 black t-shirt.
T-shirt?
T-shirt. It says, Fire Festival 2 is real. There's a black one and a white one. There are hoodies. Playa is on fire. $130. Fire
is it cashmere?
Nope. Looks like 100% cotton. Gildan. They have tie-dye. They have Fire to Fuego. Fire to Passport. And it just shows like a geographical map and like a oval over where Playa del Carmen is.
Okay.
Hats. Bucket hats. Fire Festival 2 is real. Shorts.
It's not real.
It's not real. And if you believe it is, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might want to check your blinker fluid. Yeah. That motherfucker is
literally. That's what their merch should say. They should have a picture of that girl.
Yep. Oh goodness. Okay, well, last little quick things before we jump into the book. We talked about this last week. We had 2 big finales on recording day. Obviously, this will be coming out several days after this. But, yeah, so 1923, I think, destroyed every single person. I don't want to spoil anything. But great show. But I fucking cried like a little bitch.
Yeah.
it was rough. So there's still confusion around things. So there is another prequel starring Matthew McConaughey called 1944. So I'm thinking they're going to be doing this every 20, 40 years to get you to the current, which, you know, everyone knows what happens with the current season of Yellowstone. So,
yeah.
Anyways, that happened. I don't know when we're getting the next show, but White Lotus also wrapped up last week. The finale was a disappointment for me, let down. But not to spoil anything, I don't know if I'll ever be able to drink a pina colada again.
Oh gosh.
It's not Butcher Blackbird level of ruining food. It's like, it's not sexual at all. It just makes you think of what almost happened. So,
okay.
You should watch White Lotus. I think you'll like it. It's very thriller. It's like, there's part of it when I first started, I'm like, this is so fucking boring. Like, it's dull. Like, why does this drag on for 7 episodes? But then you get invested in the characters and you're like trying to figure it out. So it's very much whodunit, who's gonna die. Like, people, because it starts off every season with bodies. You don't know who the bodies are, and everyone's in a panic. We found a body in the ocean, or we found this. And so the whole time you're like, who did they find? Like, relating back to that first thing. So
okay, I like that then.
Yeah, you'll like it. It's on HBO if you have HBO.
Okay.
If not, I'll give you my login. But yeah, it's good. So that wrapped up last week. So yeah, you want to talk about the book?
Yeah, let's get into it. Do you want to read it or you want me to read it?
You can read. I didn't get mine out of my case. It's too tight.
I know. I'm scared to not be able to get the last one back in.
Yeah.
No masters, no limits, no regrets. Selena Sardathian has embraced her identity as Aelin Galathynius, Queen of Terrasen, but before she can reclaim her throne, she must fight. She will fight for her cousin, a warrior prepared to die for her. She will fight for her friend, a young man trapped in an unspeakable prison, and she will fight for her people, enslaved to a brutal king and awaiting their lost queen's triumphant return. Everyone Aelin loves has been taken from her. Everything she holds dear is in danger, but she has the heart of a queen, and that heart beats for vengeance.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. I'm reading this, and there's a typo. Because I was like, wait, has been raken from her?
Raken?
Yeah. I was like, do I need to Google raken? Is that a thing? So yeah. 644 pages.
Yep. This book started off a little slow, in my opinion. Definitely got better.
Yeah.
But I will say before, I'm not just going to complain, guys. My biggest issue with this book, and it could be a me problem. You tell me if it's a me problem, okay? Call my ass out. I felt like I missed a book. You know what I mean? Like, I even told you earlier, like, I got finished way later than I expected. Because I usually listen to books, I'm going to be honest, on 2.5 speed. If it is a fantasy book with a lot of world building, a lot of difficult names, I slow down to 2, sometimes 1.8. I had 2.5. I slowed down to 2, but then I was on a time crunch to finish for us to record, so I bumped it back up. And I had to slow down and re-listen and just kind of be like, wait, did I? So it could be a me thing, but I also felt like, but this is from the last books. Okay, I felt like they knew each other in this book a lot better than they knew each other in the last book.
It starts off and they're like, hey, we're together, blah, 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 blah. I was like,
okay, last book he literally just kissed your forehead and then you guys said bye. Like, okay, it's not a me. But then also like, okay, the flower market. Okay, wait, guys. Spoilers. Ah! Okay.
For all 5 books.
For all 5 books this far. Okay, I'm sure you assumed that. So, when motherfucker shows up, because someone's tracking her, which I was expecting him to show up any second or her to send for him. So that wasn't a shock for me. I expected that. But for her showing him around the town and the flower market, and then she says something about, oh crap, his mate who was pregnant that died. Did you know that? Did I miss that?
No,
okay.
I was like,
wait, when did they talk about that?
Yeah. where did I miss this? I'm so confused. Like, multiple times through the first half of the book, I was like,
Yeah.
where was that? When did this happen? When did
Yeah.
he tell her that?
Literally went and Googled the order of these books and was like, okay, a lot of this makes sense for the cadence. Like, she was going back over, she's blah, 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 blah. But then also I'm like, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Is there like a novella, like the Assassin's Blade that gives more color? So here's what I think happened. I think a lot more in the last book, they made a lot more connection than actually hit the paper. Like, in the story. And I think we both had a similar complaint last week. Like, we know he's in game for her. We can tell he's the guy. But I just felt like there wasn't any angst. There wasn't any sexual tension. There was just mainly hatred. And they obviously spent a ton of time together, but it talked about it several times, like 6-hour silences or days silences where they didn't speak. And I get being around someone and being comfortable, but not talking or talking. So when like these things came out, like they obviously knew each other so well. Like when he goes into the bedroom with her, he's like, "Oh, there's your secret passage."
Yeah.
And I was like, when did she tell him all that? Yeah. When did this happen? I feel like that would have been an important thing for the last book. As it's ending, wrapping up before he does his vow to her and all that, to be like, hey,
BT dub.
Here's this scene where they both just have a moment and spill their guts. So then this book comes along. I'm not shocked that he knows all these like intimate things about her. So I think it may have just been like the differences in her mindset between the two books. That's my guess anyways.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel the same way, because I for a while was thinking this is a me problem.
No, I was so confused. And I had to keep going back, and I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, I even pulled out the other book and I was like, hold on. Okay, they're having conversations, but they're not, and they're not talking to each other. And what else is happening that I don't know? Like, what is this extra context that I don't have?
Once we finish, if we ever do a reread, I'm sure, which would happen at some point, more of this will click. That's what I'm telling myself. Like, it's just a lot. So many books, it's a lot. Usually we'll have like a fantasy that has, the most we've read is 5? So we're on 5 now. We're expecting a conclusion. It's still building. We're still learning new people. So that's what I'm telling myself.
That bothered me too, that there were so many more new people added in this. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't remember anybody's names. I don't know how to pronounce them because I'm not reading them and listening. And
when I was looking up notes on Google to like talk about half the people's names, I was like, because I've been listening. And so I'm reading them with my eyes and I'm like, wait, that's I kept thinking they were saying fog.
The
fog. The Vogue, it's VALG.
Never
you know how what's Kaltain? CAL or KALTAIN. I kept looking, Shadowfire Kaltain. Huh? I didn't know it was I'm like, Shadowfire what?
Yeah. Nope.
Word Keys is spelled WYRD.
Oh, like the Mindengard worm.
Yeah. Kale, we've already talked about it. I'm gonna start calling him Charcoal.
Yeah.
Selena spelled weird, but we should be done with that at this point. I think it's about to be only Aelin at this time. But I will say we are finally getting some angst and some sexual tension. So Miss Pris better get plowed next book, okay? She has waited. She deserves it.
I don't think it's gonna happen on the page.
You think this is too PG? No. You think it's gonna be...
Because Manon got pregnant and they didn't even explain that she was like seeing the guy, that she stayed in his house for months and helped him do whatever he was doing.
That wasn't Manon, that was the other girl. And that was 80 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Like her grandma or her
second,
mom. Yeah.
Her cousin.
Yeah.
But her grandma, like, outs her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they talk about the prostitutes and call them courtesans.
Yeah.
And don't say what they do.
Yeah, because I think there were a lot more sexual scenes leading up, like you could feel the angst, and then it's like, and the next morning they wake up, and I'm like, bitch,
they didn't do anything though.
Tell us.
Yeah, I need details. Besides a passionate kiss, come on.
That's what I don't get about how this is like Haley's favorite series, because she is like dark, like she knows way too many details, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's a little scary for me.
Yeah.
And then this is her favorite book ever, favorite series. I'm like, did you read the same thing?
Is there another series we don't know about that has a lot of sex in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are getting more angst though.
Yeah.
So, at least I'm getting them being together now. Coming into this book, I was like, again, going back to in the last book, we needed more like positive interaction. The only interaction we saw was like hate each other. So
yeah.
Until the end.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk about some of the shocking moments. How they took out Arabin. Honestly, call me toxic. Arabin's kind of hot. Rest in peace, brother.
I just pictured him as like this really, I don't know, older, like fat, mobster wannabe guy.
How they described him, was like tall, fit, red hair, green eyes, devilishly handsome. Yeah. And then she would talk about his like swaggering. Well, I'm like, this guy sounds hot. Yeah. I don't know. I like the toxic guy in the books, anyways. Real life, I would fucking hate anyone like that. Let's be real. There's a line. But I kind of was like, well, he obviously loves her. Now, he's fucked up, but he obviously loves her. Yeah. But one thing with that is I want to talk about, I usually don't like female main characters. We talk about this a lot. Aelin is top tier female main character. So, and not just like because she's a fucking badass slayer, but because she is so smart. Like that setup, she literally thought everything through. Months
in advance. And everybody's like, you had to have done that months ago. Like the going to the bank and the replacing the will and all of these things. And I was just like, I need this. And girl.
She set the date for a while she wasn't even on the continent, so they couldn't blame it on her. Yeah. Like this girl, brilliant. This girl is so smart. Yeah, I was really, really impressed with that storyline in this book. Like, I think that shows a little character development on her part. Not that she wasn't smart. Like, we got to see a little bit of that from her, like in Assassin's Blade. And I feel like we're seeing like a little bit of her different identities combining in this book. Like, it was very much the Selena, the killing calm or whatever she called it that came out. That's a very Selena thing. And the planning and strategy, I feel like that's Selena. But her being like calm, thinking things through, using her resources, that's like Aelin growing, right? And then, you know, just in her friendship with Kale, that was like that Lillian to me. That wasn't Selena. Selena was Assassin's Blade. Selena. Okay, so I grew to despise Kale. I never liked him. We've talked about this, but in this book, I'm just like, you're not Tamlin, but you're, yeah. Love him. When I thought he died, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even care. I was like, bet.
One less person's name I have to remember.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I was kind of rooting for him and that girl because I like that girl. I think she's got a cool story. Yeah. But anyways, seems like that's gonna work out. Dorian is okay. This is what I want to talk about. So she just calms Dorian or whatever. Like the shit's a glass fire is what I'm gonna call it. Glass fire, and then wind comes in. It's just a shit show at the end of the book. So did her and Dorian like? Okay, number one, Dorian did know she was Aelin because the daddy found out because of that. So whether Dorian found out from Kale or he's smart and put it together, either way. Yeah. But the whole did her and Dorian say, like, yeah, so I'm just gonna go rebel, rogue, peace, because technically her kingdom is under Dorian. So she helps him kill his father, and then tells the whole townspeople who she is. She's gonna run the show while he mourns. Don't fuck around or you're gonna find out, pretty much. Helps Dorian get, like, back to normal. He's obviously been through some shit. And so then, like, when they leave, when they're saying bye, did you catch this exchange about the next time? I don't want to think about the next time. Like, it may not be in a cordial setting the next time we talk. So I'm like, okay, so they're gonna fight it out? Like, I feel like Dorian would just be like, okay, your kingdom's your kingdom. I don't know what that meant. I'm assuming we'll find out later. It felt intentional. I don't think her and Dorian would ever fight. Do you?
No, I don't see how.
Dorian would very much be like, you have your kingdom.
Yeah, like, thanks, you did me a huge solid. You can just have whatever you need now, and we'll leave each other alone. We're good.
Yeah. I'm wondering, now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm wondering if it is they're gonna meet together to go versus this god person that's in the Duke.
That's kind of what I figured, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Then I'm like, what about Eowyn?
If you're going to war together? I don't know.
But he, like, set them up for success. Chaos his hand to the king, but also, like, an ambassador for her to help her with something. So I'm like, I don't know how there could be any beef with the way they left things. So it could have just been said, like, because there's still battles to fight, not maybe against each other, and I just read it that way.
Maybe.
Okay, let's talk about Manon. I'm calling it right now. Her and Dorian end up together.
That's what I was thinking.
She definitely grew on me throughout this book, though.
Yeah.
Like, at the first, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, last book, I was like, what? I don't care about these iron teeth bitches.
Yeah, what's the point?
Like, I don't care how pretty she is. I can't get over that her teeth are metal. Like, yeah, she's gorgeous, midnight hair, cool. Like,
why are you here?
Anyways.
Like, who invited you to the party? Because I don't understand any of this.
Yeah, it started to click near the end, though, because we had more exposure to it. It made more sense. I see how they're connecting with everything else. Like, that the king pretty much made the wyvern for them.
Yeah. And then use them as
the
like breeding stock.
Brood mares. Yeah.
Like,
this is fucked up. Yeah, for sure. I did love the connection for the slave girl being the daughter of the maid who saved Aelin.
Yeah.
I loved that because Aelin specifically remembered her, and she has a tattoo from Rowan for that person saving her. So I guarantee you there's going to be some dramatic meetup, and that girl's either going to be like her lady's maid, or that girl's going to be something to Aelin, and Aelin's going to say, like, I have a tattoo for your mom, and it's going to be like a full circle moment. They're setting that up, and I think Manon and the 13 join Aelin.
Oh, 100. I mean,
yeah.
What else would they do?
They have to.
Why else do we have any of the story?
They're still... Right, yeah, no, either they're joining Dorian, which I think they'll all be together. I think her and Dorian are gonna be in game. And obviously Rowan and
Aelin.
Okay, did you catch that they might have been talking mind to mind at that dinner with Arabin?
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
And they were like, everyone's looking, because she didn't say out loud she wasn't wearing undergarments. There's no way she'd say that in front of Arabin and her cousin.
Yeah.
She said that, and I don't think they realized it because it was never talked about again, but they did it again. So either which is they're like mates. The first sign in any fantasy book ever, they're mates.
Yeah.
It's not their blood. I think they're mates, and it's going to come out. Because the term mate has been used in this series, so.
Yeah.
I 100% think that's going to be a thing. I actually like Manon or Nanon or whatever, no, with Dorian. Yeah. I'm a Dorian fan. I've liked him since the beginning. Now, I will say, probably the last thing I'll say, and then let you say your notes, and then we can call it. I did have a little drunken rampage at our concert the other day. We were in between. There's 5 people, so, there was some in-between time. I will say they were pretty efficient on the in-betweens. It wasn't like an hour like some concerts we've been to. They were pretty, like, 40 minutes, or 30 minutes, I think, was the longest one. Which was, efficient. Anyways, I was trying to explain to my husband, bless his heart, who also reads books. He's gonna read Throne of Glass once we finish, so he can use my books. But I was trying to explain to him the different men in Throne of Glass. And poor Tisha's husband, who doesn't read our books at all, probably thinks I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And my husband kind of gets it, but also thinks I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I'm like, this is a fantasy book. I need someone to look at me and say, who did this to you? You're gonna die! I need someone who's not afraid to kill someone. And I was like, Chaos bitch ass killed one person and got sick. What a pussy! I was like, did I not? I was popping off about this. And then I'm like, and then Rowan, he's a dick. I don't know who she's gonna end up. I was like, don't like this guy. Anyway, so then I'm reading the book, and Rowan did grow on me in this book. Which, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like him. I just didn't like her with him. I thought that he was too mean. But apparently a lot happened off page we don't know about. You know, it's real life and all. Anything else you want to add?
The only notes I had were I freaked out when the grandmother branded the one because her baby was stillborn. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Unclean. What a fucking old bat. I want to find her and kill her.
Literally, I was like, somebody give me her name and address because I will hunt this bitch down.
Yeah. Drop a pin. On my way. Beep, beep.
Because I thought that whole story was going to be leading up to somehow say that Aelin is like a relative.
Oh, so she's like part of the witch clan too? Blackbeak or whatever they're called.
I thought that's where that was going. And then she was like, and the baby was stillborn and she got branded. I was like, fuck, that's dark. Why?
So she was pretty much saying that to motivate her friend to be like, fuck your grandma. Fuck the king, fuck this duke, let's be badass 13 witch bitches and join Aelin.
But yeah, that was a lot more adventure and drama and all the things right there at the end. So I was like, that's redeeming because I hated it and it took forever. I started on Tuesday and just finished it today. So
me too.
We did have a busy week, so that changes things, but like, I had to slow it way down. And I texted Loren, I think Tuesday night, and I was like, I always feel like I don't know what the fuck is happening in these books. She's like, maybe slow it down. I was like, I'm at 1.3. Like, I'm so slow.
You're like, I already slowed it way down. I
still don't know what's happening and why, and I just don't get it. And then finally yesterday evening I started listening again and I was like, okay, I'm picking up a little bit more of what she's putting down. It's starting to piece together and make a little bit of sense, but that was a long 644 pages.
The last 2 hours audiobook, phenomenal. Last 2 hours. So I'm really thinking the next book, she's coming home to Terracin, it's going to be a lot of people either not on her side or like rallying to her side and probably navigating that a little bit. And then we're setting up for, she's got multiple villains to defeat. We can't forget about her Fae aunt because this other guy's on a side quest. She's going to be fighting him. Then also we have the god that's in Duke Harrington or whatever's body. So those are the two main villains right now. So I think we're going to have maybe one for each of the two big books at the end. And this next one's going to be a lot of build up, setup.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll see. I don't know.
All right. Nothing else?
That'll do, donkey.
All right. Well, go follow our socials. Open Booked on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and that's it?
YouTube.
TikTok. That's what it is.
LinkedIn.
Not LinkedIn.
We are not on LinkedIn.
We're not professionals like that.
We don't have headshots.
No, not yet. So next week we will be covering Empire of Storms. The 6th or 5th book, however you read it. But yeah, we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.